Today on Mike Attempts, 1980 Ford F-100. This was my dad's garage. He bought it a few months before I was born. I spent a lot of time with him here growing up. Sadly, my father passed away in May. I only have a week to attempt to get his old vehicles running. This is the first video of the series, and today I'll be working on this 1980 Ford F-100. I'm gonna have to move some stuff before I can open the hood. My dad bought this truck in 1993 as a project. The previous owner made some not so great modifications, so my dad got it for next to nothing. It's been sitting here, mostly untouched, for 29 years. I'm not sure what's supposed to be mounted on that plate behind the fan. Nothing critical, I hope. I checked the fluids and they all look good enough, except the coolant. There's some antifreeze in the radiator, but it's way down there. I know I'm gonna need a new battery, so I might as well get the old one out now. These two bungee cords must just be for show, because they definitely aren't securing anything. Now I need to clear out the cab. Halfway through, and guess what I found? Alf! Good news, we've got a key. And another Alf. We found a total of 4 Alfs. They were sort of an inside joke in our family, but none of us can figure out where my dad got them all. The gas pedal won't budge. Let's see if we can free it up. There we go. I just needed to give the penetrating oil time to work its magic. Various hoses are capped off with bolts, so hopefully those are not important. I removed the spark plugs and sprayed penetrating oil in the cylinders. With a ratchet on the crank bolt, I was able to turn over the engine. I didn't feel any rough spots. Each piston seemed to slide freely. After installing a new battery, I wanted to see if it would crank. This will also blow any excess penetrating oil out of the spark plug holes. Well, that's a good sign. Since I was in the driver's seat, I couldn't see the positive battery cable smoking and sparking. I cleaned up the spark plugs with a wire brush, gapped them, and slapped them back in. I want to crank it once more before adding fuel. I poured fresh gas mixed with a little Marvel mystery oil right down one of the carburetor vents. This fills the bowl, which helps prevent flooding and allows the engine to run a little longer than just pouring it down the throat. It's been sitting a long time, so let me give it some more. As you can hear, I'm pretty happy. I have limited mechanical experience, and this is the first time I've ever worked on a carbureted engine. I'm surprised it's going so well. I refilled the bowl. Let's try it again. I really can't believe it runs. Now I need to see if it'll drive. 3 of the tires are flat. The first one is taking air. Same with the second one. Maybe I'll get lucky. Nope. The third is missing a valve stem. Before I can jack up the rear end and remove the tire, I'm gonna have to make some room. I removed the tire and then spent way too much time looking through old wheels for a replacement. Since this garage is basically a poorly organized store, I stumbled upon some valve stems. I had to run over the tire about 5 times to break the bead, but it actually worked. Another first for me. I knocked out what was left of the old valve stem. And after immediately dropping the new one in the tire and fishing it out, twice, I was able to get it installed. Surprisingly, the tire didn't fight me while attempting to reseat the bead. Let's see if it'll move. No mirrors and the bed is still full, so luckily my brother-in-law showed up just in time to help guide me out. He said my dad once told him this truck had a transmission brake and wouldn't move unless the RPMs were high. If it weren't for that valuable piece of info, I would have assumed the transmission was bad. And it's out of fuel. We eventually got it all the way out, but it had 0 brakes. Luckily, this pile stopped me. My nephew noticed the smoke coming from the positive cable, so I stripped them both back to clean copper while he shined up the terminals. They have good connection now. I topped off the radiator with water in case there's a leak somewhere. The old air filter was nasty, so I picked up a new one. I refilled the bowl, poured in a couple gallons of gas, and was eventually able to get it running off the tank. I was pretty excited until I started smelling gas. Oh well, it runs and drives. If I have enough time, I'll replace all the fluids and attempt to bleed the brakes. On to the next one.